Hello, Roger at Wuthering Heights. This is the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This will be valid the rest of Tuesday through Monday, the 22nd of September next week. Well, we have some pretty decent project weather ahead here once this little trough of low pressure and adjacent associated rain showers kind of move off to the east of us here. Interesting things are happening, in the tropics. First of all, this colored area here that's filled in. That's where thunderstorm conditions are. That is convective available potential energy, or CAPES, being suppressed way south. Main weather has been such moving across the U.S.-Canadian border, and the jet stream occasionally bring down colder air masses. There'll be one coming at us, it looks like, for Thursday night into Friday. And then we warm up. Another warm anomaly works in off the Rockies and works its way east, and I'll show you that in a second. One of the other things that's kind of interesting, this is the leftovers of ex-Hurricane Odile that's moved up the Baja chain and now into the desert southwest. You can see it's a depression moving in the southern portions of Arizona. How often has that happened? And then out over here we have Edward. This is a hurricane. Looks like they're doing a pass right now, reconnaissance flight, and looking at the winds. But it's a Category 3 hurricane with a big fat eye on it. It's going nowhere, basically. It may even do some sort of a loop-de-loop out over the middle part of the Atlantic Ocean. So as far as the tropics go, no concerns currently. And a quick look at the weather map here. This is the precipitation that moved through, focusing on New England here. We have a 1023 millibar high pressure system that's going to weaken a bit, but move in and bring us a really good project weather day for Wednesday, as you can see right here. And note this little zippy system off to the north of us. It's a compact little scenario pushed along by another area of higher pressure, which is going to bring some very chilly air into the region. But of note, this is cold enough that it's going to lay a little swath of snow north of the St. Lawrence River Valley. Now that system moves on out. Here comes the cold high pressure system building 1026 millibars across Quebec. Gives us, again, a great project weather day on Friday. A little bit unsettled on Thursday with a couple sprinkles, not a whole lot more. But that area of higher pressure then elongates and kind of hangs out and blocks a lot of precipitation off to the north of us. However, a warm front looks like it tries to become in the making here. And so there could be some very light shower activity. It looks like sometime in the morning hours on Saturday. And then beyond that, that pushes north of the Canadian border as a warm front. And I'll have to watch the gradient winds on this. This would be probably Sunday into Monday, as a cold front will move on through. And that particular cold front extending down from this area of low pressure crossing through Quebec. It looks like it kind of wipes out on the precipitation. So once again, a dry frontal passage, and then another area of higher pressure builds in. This one a 1028 millibar area of higher pressure, and weakens a bit over New England, but it looks like another shot of extended fair weather even into next week, and going out completely 10 days here. Nothing but high pressure, and it's quite amazing the weather pattern being just so dry. And this is total accumulated precipitation. You can see this morning's precipitation work across the region, and then what's on top of that comes in with that warm front and then cold front. And I mean, it does not add a whole lot in the way of precipitation. Here's your total 10-day precipitation, and we're looking at generally around a quarter of an inch in some places. Looks like southern Vermont maybe as much as 0.5 or half an inch. And a little bit more rain off to the north of us, and that's that area where I wanted to show you this as well. The total accumulated snowfall. You can see this streak here, and that's what does move in. It looks like with that very cold air mass, it's going to be moving in and then giving us some frosty weather. So a little bit of snow off to the north of us in parts of Canada. And then checking the temperature anomalies. We'll start out here. You can see a cool anomaly here. This is temperatures running about 10 degrees below normal. And that kind of continues, it looks like, into Friday morning. That's going to be our cold shot. And then right behind it, it looks like a warm anomaly. So things are going to warm up. You can see here in the darker colors, we're looking at 10 to 15 degrees above the norm. And it's really across Quebec is where the main action is. And then, of course, that moves off by around Tuesday or, say, Monday night. And then we get back into a shot of colder weather, followed yet again in about 10 days by another little warm up here. But look at this anomalous warmth coming across Canada. Pretty significant again. GFS ensemble model centered on Burlington. You can see the rainfall earlier today. You subtract this out, and it's pretty zilchy right through the 21st. A little bit of unsettled weather moving in after that point. That's with that warmth that'll be coming in from the U.S.-Canadian border headed eastbound into Vermont. Ends up, folks, showing in precipitation around a half inch, a little less in southern Vermont. Somewhere between a half and a quarter inch is about it. Warmer than normal temperatures for high temperatures. This anomalous max temperature will be running a little bit cooler than normal as you balance it all out. This is valid through 0Z Wednesday. That would be through Sunday night, 8 p.m. And then the 3 to 7 day outlook here, maximum temperature anomaly. This is valid through Tuesday evening, and you can see it's near normal. So subtract the cold and add the warmth, you get a zero net effect. And here's the daily temperatures, the diurnal ranges. Today around 60 degrees for a high. You can see the lows, and tomorrow's high a little bit warmer, and then it gets capped off by that influx of slightly colder air with the cold front moving in. And then the coldest night we're going to see is a pretty frosty night. That's going to happen on Friday morning. And then the temperatures recover fairly nicely during the day, back into the 50s. It looks like 35 to 40 to follow. There could be some scattered possible frost there. And then we get into the warming, and this warming showing up by the GFS. Some indications now as high as 75 degrees. The European model gives us somewhere around 75 to 80 on Sunday, and actually keeps those temperatures a little bit warmer, even relatively warm back on Monday, and then not till Monday night or Tuesday before the cold front, and we start to see much colder air behind that. And here is Hurricane Edward, pretty significant Category 3 hurricane. Max sustained winds 115 miles per hour. You can probably add gusts up around 130, 135 miles an hour. And interesting to note that this system is just going to kind of go in the middle of the Atlantic. It may even do some sort of a loop-de-loop and be very long-lived. Here's a picture of the Atlantic Ocean showing Hurricane Edward, now Category 3, and 979 millibars forecast anyway. And keep your eye on it because it will go around in a circle around that area of higher pressure. That area of higher pressure will then force it southeast and then south. And the area of higher pressure then builds to the north, and then it pushes it back to the west again. Does a complete loop-de-loop. And finally, last but not least, this is the time of the year we start to see gradient winds start to show up as the pressure gradients get stronger, sort of nestled up against these areas of higher pressure that come down with the colder air masses, and then subsequently these areas of low pressure squeeze up against them, and sometimes you can get those strong gradient winds. Well, we're getting into the season for that. That happens basically, it really starts to pick up in October, goes through really December as the peak months just ahead. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.